is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Munch. Today we have an amazing guest. Honestly, this is why I'm back on the podcast, actually, because I've been seeing some footage of him on Instagram. Some of my friends sharing his videos and posts. I'm like, man, this guy's out here sharing some positive energy.
Hell yeah, man.
And it was super sick. I'm like, we need more of this around here. And that was kind of the whole point of his thing. So I followed him, and then I was like, yeah, this is it. And he starts interviewing people and going through the minds of people and seeing how they stay positive and spreading this positivity. And to me, I was like, man, that's the kind of guy I want to be, honestly. You know what I mean?
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a journey. The idea of What's Up was just to spread positivity, like in general. Yeah, spread positivity, but I wanted to find a platform to just really highlight people's passions, their talents, because yeah, I think people are amazing, and you don't get to really know that about individuals unless you like really talk to them. And like, I feel like if you could get someone to express themselves in a way that they want to, and just like broadcast that to the public, people would be like, oh, okay, I really like that guy because the way he thinks and his passion and his hobbies is super cool. I would never think of someone doing stuff like that. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
good,
and positivity really does spread. Like this morning, I saw the opposite of positivity spread, and I was like, oh my goodness, I never seen this like chain react before like this. I went into Lithia Toyota to get my oil change, and as soon as I go in there, this girl's in there frantic. She's like pacing back and forth. I'm like, what's going on? And eventually, after standing there for a little bit, I overhear her saying, you guys can't find my car? Like, I'm going to be late for work and all this. And I understand her situation because it kind of is Toyota's fault for losing her car. But then that negativity from her end is like when she yells at the workers, and the workers are now in a bad mood. And then it chain reacts to another worker being in a bad mood because they have to tell somebody lower to be like, hey, you got to do this. You got to, like, what happened? And then ended up going like 3 or 4 chains down. And as I was waiting for my car, the guy finally pulls up in my car, and it was the guy that I'm guessing messed up because when he got out, he was just like frustrated and negative. And I was like, it's crazy to see that chain reaction. Just because one person started this negativity, all of a sudden it brings it down to 4 other people.
Yeah, man. Vibes are extremely contagious.
Yeah.
And I'm like super skeptical of who I give my energy towards now. And even like in public, if I see someone, like for instance, yesterday I was at the bank and this girl was freaking out on the other girl for just pulling in. She was like, out of all the aisles, you choose this one. She's screaming out the window. I just looked at it. It was like, that sucks to be you, to be pissed off about the littlest thing.
Yeah.
It was like, her whole day is just,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's move that closer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Ooh.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so there's that negativity, the chain reaction with that. And that can evolve. It happens the opposite way too with positivity. So when you be positive to somebody around you, and then that guy's going to turn out, or girl is going to be positive and share it with somebody else, and it's just going to be like a, what is it called when you help somebody and then they help somebody else? It's like
not a chain reaction, but like
pass it forward. What is it? Pass it forward.
Yeah,
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, I haven't really even thought of it like that in that sense. I'm always just like scratching the surface, because if I think about something in too much detail, I tend to get lost in where I want to really go. And so I don't know, you could call it, I want to call it shallow, but I'm just, but I just try to keep it chill, and yeah, good vibes all around. Yeah, man, like I took a whole transition, like mindset shift within, honestly, every year I always go through like a what's it called, a paradigm shift. But as of last year's paradigm shift was the most impactful, and that's when I really wanted to do something with this idea. And so I'm just super grateful to be in this journey
Yeah.
as we speak.
No, it's super cool, and I saw that in your videos, and I was, when I first saw your brand, I was so confused, honestly. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
this is cool. Somebody else in town trying to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw your brand, and it's like DNSSVP. I'm like,
VM, yeah,
VM
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
And I'm like, what is that? I don't know. They keep saying what's up though. And then I finally used my left brain. I was like, wait, maybe if I look at this upside down.
Yeah.
And then I was like, dude, that is so dope. Like
Yeah,
immediately
dude.
I was like, that is so sick.
Yeah, it's clever. And that's another thing about the brand is perspective. You wanna everybody looks at something just like one way, but if just like we were talking about negativity, positivity, if something bad happens, you don't really have to take it in a negative light. You could just be grateful that that happened to where you could have to worry about a thing like that. No, like obviously every situation is different, but it's just perspective, just the way you look at the world.
I see that. Like something bad can happen to you, but then you could take that as a lesson is kind of what you're saying, right?
Exactly. Like example, I my transmission blew out in my truck. That cost me $7,000, and I have like like not a new truck, but it's pretty new. It's a 2018.
That's pretty new. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like hella pissed because it happened. But then I was like, you know what? I should just be grateful to have a truck to where I could have this problem. Because I was like driving, and there's a whole bunch of homeless people in Reading. They're probably looking over at me. I'm stressed about this transmission, and they're just stressed about trying to get a meal.
Yeah.
Or where they need to sleep tonight. And I'm like, you know what? I just need to be grateful and just roll with the punches, do what I got to do.
That's crazy. That is a good way to look at perspectives, and that's funny that it kind of just blends in with your brand. How if you look at it a different perspective, you see the realness into it, and it spreads like wildfire. Yeah,
And that's the goal, man. There's so much negativity in this world, and I think a lot of it is media. You see someone eat shit or something, it's funny, and then I'm like, dude, is it really that funny? That fool is in pain, And then you see, I don't know, on Instagram, oh, this girl cheated on their man, and then people in the comments are just like ruthless. I'm like, dude, that's not how I want to. Like, say if I have kids, I don't want my kids to be raised thinking like that, like in that situation. So I just want to be the change to everything. Like, I want to actually, I don't know, contribute to a better change.
right. If you don't mind me asking, was there like a specific moment in time that you're like, I need to change how I live or change how I do things, or I need to kind of glow up, I guess, or kind of
most
evolve?
definitely. I feel like whenever someone wants to change, it comes from a place of pain, like deep,
a rock bottom type situation.
deep pain. So a little history lesson or history about me is I used to just party all the time. I lived every night or every day like a Friday night, every morning like a Monday morning. Just when I woke up, partied at night, and it was an unhealthy lifestyle. Just alcoholic, drugs, and yeah, I did that for so long. Every year I'd get much more depressed, and I took on journaling. And then in one of my journal entries, I said each year I hit a new record low. Like that was like,
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. And
Whoa.
like from other people's like perspective, and they're looking at me, they're like, oh, Nick is so happy, he loves life, life's great. But really, I'm like behind my smile, I was like in pain. I was suffering so much. And then it took me, every year I would just try to I would just try to become a better person, but then I would just fall back into my old ways. I would start getting some sort of, well, not really success, just getting better with my life. Feel like it would be right there, and then my brother was the one who mentioned it to me. He's like, my observation about you is you do all this good shit, you get to a point, and then you just drop the ball again, and then you're back in your situation. And I was like, that hit me super hard. I was like, dude, that's what you literally think of me, and it's true. I was like, you know what? I need to change. And so one night, it was like last year, I uh I was in bed and I was getting real with myself. I was like, yo, what do you want out of life? And are you gonna be able to achieve those things being the person you are right now? I said, hell no, I'm not. So what do I need to do? I was like, just be real. You need to change everything. Mindset, perspective, habits, just friends, everything. Like everything contributes to that. And stop drinking. I stopped smoking days ago. Stopped doing drugs years ago. And so each year kind of getting better. And I would say like as of last year, I hit this point of instead of hitting a new record low, I could see myself actually like getting better. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm getting this momentum and I love it. I'm trying to like not let that momentum stop.
As it was going, were you still writing new journal entries? And
Yeah, most
so
definitely.
you'll read back on them like, oh, wow, that was a good day in my life, or oh, I
Oh
improved
yeah,
this. Yeah.
exactly. It's crazy. Like writing has helped me a lot, just to figure out my goals, how to achieve those goals, and just yeah, writing my feelings is crazy. Like before I went to the Philippines, I had a journal entry, and so January I wrote one journal entry for the month, and I wrote down a personal goal and a professional goal, and then in the Philippines, I was going through a tough time, and now I'm on vacation. So I'm like, dude, what the
Yeah.
fuck? So I wrote down my feelings, and then I wrote my feelings down just like I don't know a couple weeks ago or like a week ago, and then I was like, I want to reread like what I said in January and what I read from how I felt and then how I feel right now. It's like brought me it like punched me in my chest because it was just so it was crazy. Like I straight up manifested that shit, just like happiness,
Wow.
and it's been tough.
And have you noticed those changes, like not within just yourself, but your surroundings too?
Yes,
Yeah.
most definitely. Just everything has been great, just to say the least. Yeah, I still go through some tough times, but just like I said about perspective, like you just gotta stay on that on that wavelength of just like everything's gonna be all good. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It always is.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. You know, you ever hear that it's like a cliche, guys only start podcasts because it's their like therapy? You ever heard that before?
I haven't, but I
No.
believe it
Yeah.
now.
It's our way of therapy. Like I like talking to, letting people know my feelings or whatever.
Oh, for sure. It's a way to be creative as well, what you're doing is expressing yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about this.
Yeah. And so, what made you start deciding to like, hey, I think I'm gonna throw myself on the internet and be like, I want to spread this positivity. Like, why that part?
So when I was doing all those like the deep work, the deep thinking, and trying to map out a plan of what should I do, what are my strengths, and how could I like build. So this idea right here was in my Instagram bio for like 7 years before.
Really?
Yeah,
What?
I forgot about it. And then I got to the point I was like, I need to change my life and all this. And then I got to a point in my life where I was like, I have the bandwidth. I could start doing something that I'm actually passionate about. I was all praying to God, like, give me purpose. Like, I just need purpose. I ended up, he answered my prayers, and then I found it in my bio, and it just clicked. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a shot at this. I'm gonna straight up do this because I this has been on my mind, and it'll open up avenues, and I probably the greatest thing of my life so far.
No, it's awesome for sure. Not only is like just the logo and the brand dope, but the message behind it is pretty cool, and I think that's why a lot of people gravitate towards it. Like for me included, I looked at it, I saw your message, I was like, damn, I want to follow this. I
Yeah.
want to see where this goes. I want to see this positivity spread. And then I see other people posting on it, and I was like,
Yeah, most definitely. It's
Yeah.
like to empower people to do the things that make them feel fulfilled. Like, this life is too short to be pissed, sad, or whatever. You go through struggles and then you persevere, you overcome them. But really, you just got to be loving life. And even when it is going bad, just appreciate you have another day here.
yeah. Yeah, I see people with road rage, and I feel bad for them because I'm like, if you're getting mad at vehicles cutting you off or driving slow in front of you, then you're probably mad at every other aspect of life. And if you just, like, for me, I just don't think about those things. And then my life is just fine. When you don't stress yourself out over little things, you start to feel like, oh, wait, nothing is actually making me, nothing
Yeah.
is actually worth stressing about. Like, I'm only
Exactly.
hurting myself by stressing out over these things.
Dude, so funny thing is,
On the way here, you had road rage?
no, so before I like made the decision of making the brand, starting the brand, and driving big rigs, I had the worst road rage.
Really?
Yeah, like
Wow.
I don't know, I was just like an angry person. And then once I started doing this, just like you said, like everything started changing. Like I started changing personality, perspective, attitude, habits, and instead of driving like shit, yelling at people, I'm literally like I don't care anymore. Like class A driver.
Yeah,
Like,
Watch out.
yeah. And so back then, I'd always like be like, I hate semi truck drivers. I hate them. And then now I am one. I'm like, I still hate them. No, but
You're like, I see why he did that. Or
yeah,
something like
exactly. Yeah, I understand why whatever I was so mad at them is like, yeah, they can't haul ass. And then when they do haul ass, now you're like mad at them because you're putting other people's lives in danger.
Yeah.
They have like 80,000 pounds behind you. Like, you gotta chill out.
Yeah, it's funny too. Like even when you're driving, so when you driving, it's just a regular person stressing you out. But then you see a sticker on the bumper that says "student driver" or "baby on board." All of a sudden, you're like, "All right, that's fine, that's fine."
Yeah.
But if they don't have that sign, you're like, "Oh, I'm pissed. Like I hate this guy."
And then you go right next to him, it's someone like,
Old lady.
yeah, exactly. And then you're like, I don't even know why I was mad at you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why changing your perspective is like, oh, just think everybody as an old lady.
Yeah.
Just treat them like an old lady, and then you'll be fine.
And like, I think the biggest thing for me whenever someone is driving like shit and I could see it is I don't know what's going on in their head. I don't know what they're dealing with. They could have something bad going on, and that's, hindering their thought process of driving properly, or they're just lost. Or I just try to take those things in perspective, just like retrospect. Like, you never know.
Yeah, true.
You just never know what someone's going through. So kindness is the key.
Kindness is definitely the key. Like for me, you're saying your life changed. Was it 9 months ago or something?
Yeah, it's always been. I always go on like these spurts.
You go back to your evil ways here
Yeah,
soon.
I'll relapse on alcohol. No, but yeah, this year when I went to the Philippines, I drank again, but I don't have any desire to keep drinking like I used to. So I feel like, yeah, that's growth right there.
For
you know?
sure. Growing up, it almost seems like every outing we go to has to involve a drink, right? Or
Yeah.
or like a smoke or something. Mm-hmm. And I didn't feel that way until recently. I was like, why do I need to drink something to hang out with my friends?
Yeah.
And then, so I had a life-changing thing 9 months ago too.
Yeah.
And it was when I hopped on a scale and I noticed I was like 200 pounds. I was like, 200 pounds. When I was younger, I was like, oh, I'll never be big or anything like that,
Yeah.
And I was like, because I've always been a fit person. I've been skating for years.
Yeah,
I've been
just active.
active, always outside doing things. But as you get older, I guess I don't know, I got too comfortable, because then the thing is, you work pretty much every single day, 8 hours a day or more for some. And then you come home and you just want to relax. You're like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do every day. And eventually, it slowly just caught up to me. And I was like, huh, this is weird. I've noticed my habits are getting bad. I didn't enjoy the things that I used to. Skateboarding became harder. I'm like, what is going on, man?
Yeah, it creeps up on you.
It creeps up.
Yeah, the age.
The age. I blamed it on age, too. I was like, I'm getting old. Your metabolism slows down after 28. And I had a bunch of excuses. I mean, some of them are somewhat true, but I was like, man, I really need to, if I want to stay young and healthy, I need to change now, because I was scared you get to a certain point and then there's no return. Because really, as I was getting bigger, I've noticed it was harder to get motivated, because your body literally tells you, like, hey, you're too lazy to do this right now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it straight up is. You find the answers in your feelings.
Yeah.
And then you also find the deeper answer when you go past those feelings.
Yeah.
So like when you're tired and you don't work out, you see it. You see the results. You get bigger, you start having like weaker habits, like bad habits, just like, I don't know, eating ice cream at night, just just like sweets or something. You start doing sweets more. Or if you're like, okay, I could battle this laziness and then go to the gym, you feel good. But then you'll have those days you're unmotivated and you're like, dude, I don't feel like going to the gym. But you go anyways, and then you see the results there.
Yeah.
And all, just like it creeps up on you, like the bad habits creep up on you, it's just the same exact way
With the good habits.
The good habits, yeah, it takes time. And so when I seen your post, I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's amazing. I was like, I want to see how I look. Like,
Yeah.
Let's go. And I was like, dude, that's crazy. Because I don't know, you just go through the motions of life. You don't really look at the contrast, and then when I seen yours, I was like, dude, that is amazing. Dude, props to you, brother.
I'm
dope.
glad I could inspire you,
Yeah.
after all that inspiring you gave to me. But no, it's cool. I saw your photo and I was like, dude,
it spreads like a wildfire, just like you said. So,
and normally I don't like brag, because it seems kind of braggy when you post something like that, I don't, in a way, I don't know.
You're just proud.
Yeah, I was just proud. I was just kind of posting it for myself. And
yeah, and that's all. That's what you're doing it for, is yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, with that being said, you're doing it for yourself, and as long as you're happy, you're not hurting nobody, you're doing great, man.
Yeah. And so when I was getting healthier, I've noticed I feel like it aligns with positive attitude. It's like food. When you eat healthier food, your body craves healthier food. So I've noticed that if I eat healthy, then I won't crave like a hamburger the next morning or at night or something like that. And I feel like that's in line with positivity. The more positive you are, then the less, I don't know, negative things come your way or something like that.
Yeah, it's the diet that you put with food into your body is the same type of diet that you expose yourself to, like, from the outside world. Like, you're gonna, like, for instance, you're gonna eat McDonald's, you're gonna feel like shit, so you're gonna be, not dissing on everybody that eats McDonald's, like, I don't want to sound judgmental, but you know what I mean. Just like, you put shit in, you're gonna get shit out. You put good in, you're gonna get good out.
Yeah.
Fire in, fire out. Trash in, trash out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned that when I was squishing rosin. I was biggest pothead. I was making concentrates, and that, like, I don't know, growing weed is so many life lessons to growing weed, dude.
I bet, man.
Yeah, and I've taken that wisdom and just brought it with me, and I like using those analogies in life.
Yeah, there's like an analogy with anything.
Dude, for real. And like the quotes that people be saying, like they don't just say that shit just to say it. Like there's so much truth to it. You know, like I don't know, Aristotle type shit. And just everything. Even like what was that Spider-Man quote? With great power comes with great responsibility.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, dude, those quotes are fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those you should come up with your own quote. What is the quote for what's up?
The quote is just the message, the mission is to empower people to do the things that make them feel fulfilled. But I haven't really thought of like a slogan besides "That's what's up."
Yeah.
Because yeah, all my friends like back in the day when I'd be kicking it with them, I would always say that like that's what's up. They'd tell me something, "That's what's up," and they're like, "Dude, you say that a lot." That's what's up. You know? And then that's how I got the idea. Like one night I was just in bed thinking, I was like, how do I spell this shit upside down?
You're all looking at your keyboard, flip your phone upside down.
Yeah, exactly. And then I came up with it. I was like, dude, that's what's up.
That's what's up.
That's upside down.
Just that's what's up every time, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, this lifestyle though, I didn't expect like how like healthy my mentality is. And yeah, just speaking to like my brother's like one of like my biggest advocates of just personal growth because I talk to him about anything, everything. I talk to him a lot, and he was the one that helped me observed how every time I do something good, he would expect me to just fuck it all up. And then when I was going through some tough times, like not too long ago, he was he was like, "You haven't hit me up in a while. What's good?" I was like, "Bro, what you said to me like months ago is still haunting me, and I just want to be good." And he was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, I just don't want my life to fall through the cracks in my hands right now." And he was like,
I was just joking, bro. He's like, what?
"Yeah, no, but it was real." And so I took that to heart, and so I was like super careful of like my habits. And so I just took a step back and was like looking at my behaviors, and I was like, oh, I know why I'm acting this way right now is because I get, whether it's I get bored, I get lonely, I want to feel a rush, and that's when I'll hit up, and some people are probably not the best for me, and then I'll want to kick it, I want to get drunk, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay at home, I'm going to read a book. You know, anything to like better myself, or I'll go to the gym, you know, I'll walk my dog.
Reading a book is crazy, man. That sounds like a nightmare.
Okay, so after like I've been trying to read a lot more and more every time I go on these like coming to Jesus moments and like these paradigm shifts, I'll start reading. And in high school or in school in general, I would hate reading. I just hated it. And now I'm like this. I prefer to read, whether it's a blog post, a long text message. It's like I try to read everything now.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. It's so weird, but I love it. Especially like for marketing and stuff. Like I'm trying to learn marketing. And so now I'm going through courses and I'm like enjoying reading the courses. Like,
Wow.
dude, it's wild.
I guess it's different when you actually have something to look forward to, or if you're working towards something, I guess. Because in school, you're kind of just forced to read.
Exactly.
They're like, you got to get a reading log, read this many pages a certain day.
Yeah.
But, I mean, is there certain books that you're reading right now that are, or certain books that you read?
There's this book. It's called Deep Work. I can't remember by who it's from, but it's called Deep Work, and it talks about like the art or of being able to get in that zone of deep work, and it's like locking yourself in a room and then not stopping until you get it done type stuff. And it's crazy because I realize I have, especially with social media, I'll be reading and then bing, my phone, my attention automatically screwed. And so with this book, it says like, yeah, throw your phone in a different room and try to like just push past the threshold of where you get bored, you get whatever, just keep going, just stay 100% committed. And then Yeah, dude, it seems like it's been helping me out with my quality of life. I'm more um, intentional, with everything that I do. Like, and what else? Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Read that book like 7 times.
Is that what, like your favorite one?
Yeah, it just brings me like peace, like hope, and just positivity is really it. And like sticking to a plan, like visualizing your plan and then executing day in, day out. That's what I think is a good book. What else? And then I'm reading like a copyright book, how to copyright.
Yeah, how to not copyright?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or
no,
copyright your own stuff.
yeah, how to copyright. Yeah, just like how to write ads, just so that I can market more, and just I'm trying to learn a skill to where it benefits not only my brand, but I could use that skill and I could improve other people's brands.
Yeah.
You know, like for instance, like if you wanna, I'm just learning this, but this is just an example. When I get good, and if you want me to market your podcast more, I'd like type up an ad, and then we'd like post that. We'll pay Meta or something, or
Yeah.
get on YouTube. And just try to get more traffic.
Yeah, it's actually really hard. I mean, having my podcast for however long I did, I was finding trouble getting enough reach,
Yeah.
And marketing is huge.
Yeah, it is. And like with my podcasts and or anything that I'm doing right now is instead of like my focus, yeah, I would love to have the followers. I'd love to have all that. But I try to just base it back to the root why of why I'm doing this is just to make an impact on people's life, to spread positivity, to just, you know,
Yeah, not just that, but also with the people that you do have on your, would you call it a podcast, what you do? Or I don't know what it is,
people call it podcast. I just call it an episode.
An episode, yeah. I get,
Because like we ain't really talking. Like this is a podcast, so we'd be like talking.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd just be interviewing people, and just like picking their brain, and I want to know their hobbies, their passions, their talents.
Yeah.
And I want to know what people are passionate about.
Yeah.
And so being able to do that, that's what I think is the difference between a podcast and like an interview, So, dude, thank you again for this opportunity. This is super cool.
No, I'm super stoked. I've been, itching to do another episode, really. I'm just like, who do I talk to? That's the hardest thing for me is like, I don't know how you deal with it, but contacting people and scheduling, because I have the worst commitment issues ever, dude. I hate choosing a date, whether it's a week away, 2 weeks away, because I like to live my days day by day. I'm like, do I feel like doing this today?
Yeah.
Do I feel like doing that tomorrow? I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow. So it was pretty hard for me to commit, and that was one of the biggest issues. But what was I getting at there? Lost my train of thought. But for you, oh yeah, I was gonna say with I have commitment issues because I've been with my lady for 7.5 years, and I still have not committed anything, other than buying a house together and whatnot. But
no, bro, I feel like the way you're thinking about it is like you're kind of overthinking it. You don't really you have commitment issues to certain things, but like I feel like to other, like I think for deeper things, that are more important, I don't think you have an issue there.
I think
like just saying being with your girl for 7 years is amazing. And shit, dude, I probably like at this moment of my life, I can't even keep a girl for a month. But shout out my girlfriend right now. Love you, Janice. I'm gonna keep you longer than a month.
Right.
I promise you that. You're gonna be there for my whole life.
There you go. What was her name?
Janice.
Yeah. Forever. Yeah, with the commitment thing. So, I was feeling just pressure to put out an episode all the time. And I think that's what was driving me crazy. Because normal podcasts, they come out every week. I'm like, I don't know how they do this because I'm over here by myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then I see yours. And I'm like, this guy's doing it every week, sometimes earlier than every week. How do you deal with those Do you feel pressured, or how do you deal
Yeah,
with those?
I put the name of it nominee of the week, so it pressures me to try to get an interview each week, and I haven't been consistent, but as long as I like try, that's all you could really do, but yeah, just lighting the fire under my butt, has really been what's key to getting to do stuff, because there's been times like I didn't, like, right before an episode, I like straight up do not want to do this, and then I go and do it, and I feel like all that anxiety leading up to it is just went away, and then I feel great after I do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's super hard to start. I noticed that with anything, is just to start.
The first 2 minutes, kind of like going to the gym. Like the hardest part is getting there. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But once you're in the whip, you're committed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, trying to go back to your question about how my strengths is, I noticed my strength was being able to communicate with people or just talk. I love talking to people and connecting with people, and to connect with people on a deeper level. I was like, how can I turn this and broadcast it? I was like, dude, YouTube. So yeah, man, I love it. That's good. It's been a good learning experience.
Yeah, and I love the aspect of, because I was sort of doing something similar when you're talking to you're talking to a lot of like business owners too, and I think it's important for the community in Reading, because for us to understand a business owner, because really when you think of actual businesses like corporations, you don't care, right?
Yeah.
Like when you think of Walmart, you're like, you don't care, they're rich, they're millionaires.
Exactly.
They could lose $1,000 whatever. But when you get to know these business owners, or like these
small business owners, yeah,
you're like, when you know them on a personal level, you understand what they're going through and why they're pushing hard to get these things going. And it's like,
yeah,
I'm glad you put a shine onto some of those people, and I think it's important for a community to be kind of just helping itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we don't want all these corporations just to run our city.
Yeah, no. Have you seen those stickers that says "Keep Reading Boring"?
No, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen them?
No.
Oh, I've seen them. I like them because, yeah, I don't want, but at the same time, I love growth. I love change. So I'm back and forth on the fence with it or not, but it just, yeah, like, I don't know, they're putting in 2 Chick-fil-A's or whatever and shit, like big business. But what I like to do is, like, I want to surround myself with successful people, and like my friends who are small business owners here, being able to interview them, talk to them, let me know how they think, and just to surround yourself with people like that, and then also broadcast that to people who are inspiring to be a barber, to own their barber shop or a restaurant, or cooking, just all that. Like, hopefully I could leave an impact on someone and be like, oh, he's from Reading, small town. He's got a small business, is doing good, like, hopefully that sparks some, inspiration to someone to want to
start their own business.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something. Yeah. So this is one of his t-shirts.
Super simple, clean, good quality, thick, and just got a simple print, chest print. And yeah, dude, this one's for you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I was going to buy one anyways, but now I don't have to.
So like,
I mean, I'll probably buy it. I like the hoodies. The hoodies look great.
Yeah.
The hoodies. I saw, so you have a website. I looked through the whole website.
Mm-hmm.
You got a bunch of cool knickknacks, or I don't know if it's knickknacks, but
just like baby clothes.
Baby clothes. I saw fanny pack.
Yeah, fanny pack. I got some flip flops on there. I got dog collars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could be the next Supreme or Vape or whatever.
Dude, honestly, that was kind of thinking, like, I should start doing drops, making them more like exclusive, like how Cookies did it at first. So I'm like, dude, I don't have the fan base like that, but
yeah,
when it gets there, I hope I could do something cool like that. Because I like streetwear,
That would be dope.
Yeah, because I want to get to a point to where I don't have to, like, I want to have my own inventory and brick and mortar store, just like we were talking about earlier. Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
That would be cool. But I mean, if a T-shirt costs more than $100, I don't know, man. If I could be your friend,
Dude, I don't think I would ever.
Yeah, how was the Philippines? I was gonna ask you about that.
Dude, it was amazing.
You go there often, or?
Yeah, I try to go there every year. So I went last year. I went there for like a week and a half, and then I flew over to Japan to ride the snow over there, go snowboarding.
Really, all the way over there to snowboard? That is crazy.
It was amazing. So that right there, every time I go to the Philippines, I get super motivated and super inspired to want to do, yeah, just great things. And this one was the most inspiring, you know. I met a girl out there, fell in love.
Janice,
you know, my baby girl. So, yeah, dude, life is good right now.
What is certain things over there? Like, I've never been to the Philippines. I know, isn't it made up of like 7,000 islands or something crazy?
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it's hella islands.
Are you Filipino? Is that what
Yeah,
you're?
yeah, full Filipino.
What's it like growing up? Were your parents both Filipino?
Yeah, I was born and raised here in Reading, but my parents are from over there. They met each other when they were in Long Beach, down there, SoCal, and then they just finally like slowly made their way up to here. But
So, did you grow up with a lot of Filipino food, or like?
yeah, my parents cook Filipino food, and I love it.
So, how was it with Americanized Philippines compared to like overseas Philippines?
Over there, there's a culture shock for sure, but I feel like I'm super accepting and I understand like really well, and I'm appreciative of my culture, and so I think that's why I love it so much. And everybody, or I'd say most Filipinos, or almost every Filipino, is like super proud to be Filipino, and so
Yeah.
I don't know, probably the Filipinos over there probably look at me and be like, dude, you can't even speak Tagalog that well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I was gonna ask you, do you understand it?
yeah, I understand it quite a bit, but my goal, like for this year, I wanna learn, like I wanna be fluent.
Yeah.
I could speak a little bit of Tagalog, but I get nervous because
You don't want to sound dumb.
exactly, but I'll just sound dumb anyways. That's how you learn, you know. You just gotta mess up.
No, I get it, because I was raised Mian and my parents are super Mian. So it's like growing up in an American society, you just grow to naturally speak English most of your life.
Yeah.
And then as you're growing up, you speak less and less of your original language. Mine was Mian. And then over time, you just feel less and less confident. So you speak less and less. And then now I'm at the part where I realize I should have kept up on it, because our culture is super important.
Yeah, it
To
really
me,
is.
to our family, to everybody.
It really is. It just brings you back and gets you to remember like how you got here, and I think that's like an amazing thing too. Like, did your parents come from over there?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so you understand having immigrant parents is like it's a whole different story, you know. And being raised, I feel like you're raised differently from like majority of the kids that were raised here. They never understood that our parents had to work to get over here, and then they had to learn a new language, and then they had to like work their asses off just to get us to have this opportunity to just put us at a even playing field as everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's why I think culture is super important too, just to be super appreciative of like the elders, what they've had to do, and just like learn the history of my family, learn the history of my culture. Like, I love it.
Yeah, I feel bad. Some of the OGs will come up to me. They're like, "Man, hataw which means whose kid are you, basically?
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Cow say chow." They're like, "Which one?" There's like a million cows say chow.
Yeah.
And I feel bad even speaking English to them, because I'm like, I should respect the culture enough to be able to reply to the OGs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I feel some type of way like that too, especially like trying to conversate when I'm over there. Um, yeah, it's like embarrassing. I'm like, I could still get my way around and stuff, but then they're like, dude, this guy.
Yeah, this gringo.
Yeah, pretty much. Like this fucking dude.
Gringos of the Asians. I've always been curious, man, because I've been torn in between what Filipinos are. Like, I know they're over there by the Asians, but I feel like they're more Mexican than Asian. What is your take on that?
So we're Southeast Asian. We're right there. The reason why people think we're Hispanic is because they were ruled by the Spaniards back in the day. Spaniards ruled the Filipinos, and so that's how we got a whole bunch of like, Spanish
Language, like, because the language kind of
it's
blends in
similar,
with
yeah, it's super similar. We have a lot of similar words and just the language of it is super close to Spanish or Hispanic, but yeah, the history of it is crazy. And then like learning that back in the war times, like the Japanese like tried to take over, and that happened. Like I learned that my grandpa was like a savage, and I didn't learn this until after he passed away, and I read his eulogy. I was like, he experienced so much stuff and did so much for my family. I'm like super grateful to even, find out that he was like a hero.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy that they went through all that.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. Japanese people were killing the Filipinos. Like, yeah, my girlfriend, one of my last days over there, we went on a date to Fort Santiago and just to, check it out. And it's like a old fort that got bombed on. And then we went down into the chambers, and there's like a whole bunch of pieces and information of like all the massacres and slayings of Filipinos. And
Wow. Do they still feel a certain way towards the Japanese?
no,
No, it's all gone.
yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you move on in society, and just I feel like humanity, that was so long ago. You can't control the past, you can't dwell on it or nothing. But
Yeah.
that's
Imagine being our parents and traveling overseas, learning a whole new language, and then like just trying to work and trying to get by. Like that's like if we went to China or something and just tried to start a new life. That sounds terrible.
yeah, it sounds rough, but you got to do what you got to do to make a better future, and that's like the American dream. Come over here, build a life, and yeah, dude, I'm super grateful for my family.
Yeah. When I was young, I wasn't grateful at all.
Oh, same here.
I was like, I deserve more.
Dude, I was a spoiled little brat, still am, But as I got older, I was like, yeah, just learned that I was like, dude, you just got to be grateful and understand that my parents worked super hard for me and my siblings. And so, yeah, man, if anything, like the relationship between me and my family has been the strongest ever it's ever been, just because we're all grown up now and everything.
Yeah, everybody understands each other more, and because you came from the same background, so you're just like, oh yeah, I can't believe we went through this.
Yeah,
That's how I am with my family for sure. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm definitely grateful.
Oh yeah, every day just got to be grateful, no matter what you're going through, man. Just be thankful.
Even tomorrow, like for my mom's birthday is tomorrow, and she wants to go out to eat. I'm like, yeah, I'll buy you some dinner. Like, I want to spend time with you, because now that we don't live together, it's hard to spend time with each other, honestly.
Yeah.
But I definitely, because you never know. You never know how long it's going to last or how long it's going to be. So you want to spend the most of it while you can. I mean, it's sad to say that, but one day you're going to probably think back and probably regret it or something.
Yeah, dude. So I had a conversation with my brother the other week, and it was about, my dad is so goofy. I love the guy to death. I'd do anything for him, but he does just some just some goofy shit, like it's hard to really explain unless like the guy. And so there's some things like even for instance, his road rage. he'll be road raging and he's not even driving. He'll be in my passenger seat doing some shit. And I'm like, bro, like,
Does he say it in Tagalog too?
nah, he'll cuss him out in English. I'm like, dude, chill out, bro.
Yeah, stressing you out.
Yeah, it is. I'm like, I'm trying to get this good body going.
What was it?
No, I don't know. That's just like an example. And so, what I was talking to my brother about was instead of me getting super annoyed, like, yeah, it is annoying, but one day I won't be able to get annoyed at my dad anymore. Yeah. If anything, I'll miss all these times that like were my pet peeves. And so my brother was like, dude, that's a crazy perspective. I was like, yeah. And like in the Philippines, like, we were hanging out and stuff, and he would do some, just, I don't know, I guess just some funny stuff. And it's the type of stuff where I like shake my head. I'm like, dude, that's my dad. Like, and now my brother is just like, yeah, how I take it is, yeah, I just appreciate it instead of being like pissed off. Yeah. Even the little things, I'm like, yeah, the apple don't fall too far from the tree.
Those are the traits that you remember, because nobody ain't gonna be like that, yeah. The way he does, the way the things he does.
Yeah, just like I said, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. I'm gonna grow up just to be as goofy as him. I really am. Like, the way I talk, my sense of humor is literally like him. Wow. Spitting image of him. The way I joke is how I learned from him. So
yeah, I think it hit me the most when I saw my grandpa pass away, and just seeing what my mom went through. I was like, because it's her parent that passed away. So I put it in perspective of my parent. I'm like, holy crap, that's like some serious stuff.
Yeah.
It just like your brand, man. Perspective really does matter. Yeah. You got to think outside the box sometimes.
Straight up, you just got to think outside of whatever container. It could be a box, circle, like anything. Just think in a way to just better yourself or the situation. You can't take everything of just face value.
Yeah, there's always more to the story.
There is,
for sure, man. Yeah. Well, so I'm super stoked to see what's going on with your brand.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
What is your goal there? Like, what's your plans for the future right now? Or I know you said you wanted to get your own store, I guess.
Yeah, like I just want to grow. I want to build. I just want to keep doing whatever I'm doing, gain traction, and hopes to just like grow into something that's just like enormous, And I feel like I chose this so that I'm able to do that, like leave a legacy, maybe, like I hope I could do that. Yeah, my dreams is just endless. I don't ever want to limit myself. Like, starting this brand and this journey, that's one thing that it was my main takeaway, was to don't ever limit yourself.
Yeah. And it's also, because we have our day jobs, right? You got to find something else that you're passionate about, and it helps you just get through the day. You're like, something to look forward to. I could do this.
Yeah, dude.
It's fun, right?
It is. Just to be able to create. I remember, like, when I first started doing this, I'd be waking up at, like, 3 a.m. Just, like, I'd wake up. I wouldn't even brush my teeth. I would just wake up, go straight to the laptop, and just, like, research. How do I get this? How do I blah, blah, blah? How do I set up the website? Just anything, because I was just so passionate. And then I would go to my job, 6 a.m., work, like, a 10 to 12-hour day, and then come back, and I would just be as excited doing that work,
Yeah.
Just like, it's crazy when people say find something that you're passionate about, is the realest thing I have ever witnessed, like someone's advice. Because I've had so many jobs to where I don't want to do it, and then it's miserable. And then to be able to do this, I'm stoked every time.
Yeah, you look forward to it. You're like, oh, I can't wait to edit. I can't wait to. talk to this person. That's got to be exciting, right? Talking to
Yeah.
new people.
Oh yeah, most definitely it is. Just like I said, yeah, being able to connect with people and just like learn, like learning is everything, you know. And yeah, it's just awesome to say the least.
Good. Do people know what job you do? Do you want the world to know?
Yeah, I'm a truck driver. I drive a semi truck, transfer truck for construction. I haul asphalt, gravel, sand. I never thought I'd ever be a truck driver. But this job, I could actually say I love because I drive a lot before even driving a big rig. I put so many miles on my truck. I like to travel, and I'm able. What this job, why I love it so much is like, yeah, it's a challenge. Paving with a construction crew, it's a challenge because it's different every time. It's not like super repetitive. Something new every time. And then for the other jobs, like the long jobs, like where I'll haul rock like up to Mount Shasta or some sand up to Dunsmuir or something, I use that time wisely to listening to podcasts
Yeah.
and stuff. So I'm just stimulating my brain every chance that I could get.
That works perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm like, some people would be like, "Oh, dude, I'll go crazy." I'm like, "Dude, it's perspective. Like,
Yeah.
if you think you're gonna go crazy, this job is gonna run you crazy. But if you're like stoked to do an easy job and get paid for it, and then not only do that job, get paid for easy work, to be able to like grow mentally, well, this, dude, you're just compound effects of just like leveling up.
Yeah.
So, put that in perspective.
Yeah. Put that in. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what's up, straight up. And
What's the furthest you've had to drive? Just Mount Shasta?
yeah, Gazelle. You know, just like 30 minutes past.
Okay.
We stay within a radius.
Okay.
Otherwise, you have to fill out some stuff.
Did you ever? I was curious. Did you ever hear about? There was an I-5 killer. You ever hear about that guy? I think it was in the 90s. I don't know. I didn't do any research, but I listened to a podcast. And is this too negative? Too sad?
No, dude.
You're just all positive all of a sudden.
Dude, this is
Let's
your
talk about
podcast, dude.
this murderer. But he was a truck driver too.
Really?
And yeah, he was. I guess
Slaying shit.
slaying
just
people
up and down
all,
the 5.
Yeah, up and down the 5, and nobody could find him because he's just on the move. He didn't really have a home.
Yeah.
And he came by, I think, Shasta Lake. He ended up taking some family. And I was like, damn, that's super close to home. Because you hear a lot of these podcasts, they're like way out somewhere, not even close to here. And you're like, don't really bat an eye.
Yeah.
But then when it gets close to town, you think, oh my God, that could have been anybody, any one of my friends or what.
Bro, that's wild to even think.
It freaked me out.
Hell yeah, dude. You don't ever want to, like, have any danger come remotely close to you and the people you love.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. I'd kill to save my family, you know. I'd do all that shit to protect the people I love. And
Yeah.
just to hear some psycho do some weirdo shit like that, man.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, Reading, I'm proud of Reading, man. Aren't you? Like Reading, I actually like Reading. When I was younger, I used to hate it.
Yeah, I used to
Like,
despise it.
there's nothing to do here.
Yeah, I used to have resent, like it was so bad, but it took me moving away to really appreciate, and I took things for granted, and just as Reading grows, it's just grown into such a cool city. Like it really has been. It's a little city. We got, you know, nature. Like we take pride in our nature, our lakes. Yeah, hiking, and now the nightlife. It's not really a nightlife, but it's something, you know.
Yeah.
People get faded,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
if that's what you're into.
Yeah, it's slowly growing though. Like the past 10 years is crazy.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, imagine if Reading had its own sports team. Like if we had a stadium or like a basketball team. Or, I mean, I don't know how long that's going to take for us to get our own basketball team.
Yeah.
Like Sacramento Kings is pretty much the closest thing
Yeah.
to us. But imagine how together our community would be if we had a team to all of us to kind of like focus on and be proud. I feel like, yeah, I'm from Redding, California.
Yeah,
You know what I
straight
mean?
up. That'd be cool. That'd unify us like tremendously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never even really thought of that, like having something like that big. But Reading's got potential, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're building up like gentrified downtown. Downtown, it was crazy when they built like that new street and everything. I was all 'cause back then. I was all drinking, and we were walking down there. I'm like, where am I? We were all taking pictures in front of the "Welcome to Reading" sign. Like, this is our first time in Reading. But yeah, yeah, I'm super proud of where I come from. You know, I used to hate it. Now I love it. I love every single bit of it.
I think that's another part of perspective, because that's what's up. No. Because imagine, so if you don't like Reading and you're like, oh, this needs to change. Imagine if you move somewhere else. Why would it be any different from you living in Reading? Like, if you're a homebody and you live somewhere else, like, your life isn't really going to change. You know, you kind of have
Yeah.
to get out and change it yourself.
Exactly. Dude, yeah, I lived in Sac, I've lived in Roseville, I lived in Tahoe, you know, I lived in Oregon, I lived in Shingletown. Dude, I've just been all over, but really I always get drawn back to Reading. And don't get me wrong, I love Sac too, but I didn't have that I just didn't have many friends there, which is I still had friends there, but it wasn't like the homies here. And it's crazy to even think, like, dude, I don't even hang out with anybody today. Like, right now, I don't hang out with anybody. And when I was in that, I don't know, I was working this job, telecom. I was climbing cell phone towers and just hanging by a rope 100 feet in the air, giving people 5G for Verizon.
Thank you, man.
Dude, I hated it. I got burnt out. That was my first time ever reaching burnout. And I was just like, I need that support system. And then now that I think about it, it was like I was lonely, so I wanted like more friendship. I couldn't be able to like enjoy my night out as much as I would enjoy my night out with the homies up here, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I did have amazing nights down there, not gonna lie. Nightlife down there is lit. But there's something about just being from your hometown and just like, it hits different.
Yeah. I don't know, you get kind of homesick probably a little bit. I get homesick if I'm gone for a couple of days.
Yeah.
One, traffic. I'm like, oh man, I miss Reading traffic.
Yeah. Straight up.
Yeah,
What
that's
traffic.
a huge part.
Yeah.
But man, what a life we live.
Yeah, super great. Super great life over here. If anybody watches this and they're not from Reading,
Don't move here. We don't want you.
straight up, it's hella negative. Nah, dude, it's good. Move over here. We'd love to have you over here.
Yeah, we would. What an interesting time.
Mm-hmm.
I am so happy to see, the growth.
Dude,
in Reading.
likewise.
Also scared, but also cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if I want a big city. I'm still torn in between it because traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's inevitable, you know. There's pros and cons to everything from like a bigger city compared to like a small town. You know, I noticed like since this is a small city, you can't rip ass without someone smelling it. You know, you do something, someone's gonna be like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Did you hear about this?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, I don't really care what people think about me. If I'm staying true and I'm moving around with love and good intent, then what's there to worry about? If someone has something bad to say of what I'm doing, just hating, then let them, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's up.
Yeah, that's what's up right there.
I saw you talking to a couple people. One of the people I found interesting was Sancta, man. Or
Yeah.
Sang. And
Yeah. He's an amazing dude. I love Sang.
yeah, he's a hard-working dude. He's just working.
Dude,
a workhorse.
it's cool to like. I don't hang out with him much now, but back in the day, like a few years back, we'd be kicking it and stuff. And it's just cool to surround yourself with people who are ambitious and who yeah just have a really good work ethic.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what I love what I do, because I like learning from the how they worked it out or pushed forward.
Mm-hmm.
But I was curious because I've been seeing a lot of this boxing stuff between him
Yeah,
and
and
Scott.
Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that real?
I guess so.
Like, really? Like they have an actual date, a boxing match?
Yeah, I kind of want to see it. You
I
know,
want to see it.
I wonder where. You know, I love both of them.
Who do you think's gonna win?
I don't know.
Scott's pretty big.
Yeah, Scott. Yeah, he's big.
He's tall. He's probably got to be like 6'2",
Yeah.
6'3" almost.
Yeah, he's tall. He looks strong. And back in the day, I bet he was like super strong.
I
But
bet.
the only like thing about it is he's old. I don't know if he could last with Sang. Sang still got that youth in him.
Yeah, it's like
You know?
Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's funny, but it's also so dope because it's like a charity for something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it was, but they're literally fundraising for the community. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's cool.
Yeah,
Make
what
it
it-
fun.
Mhm.
That's the best way to do it. Make it fun. And then, yeah, just also the donating and helping others. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever their the motive is behind it, I'm sure it's with good intent. And yeah, just to be able to do something like that is exciting for Reading. You know, you got two big faces from Reading doing great things, and then like, you know, it's making people like come together and like be like, oh, this is fun. This is like Reading needs more stuff like that, more activities and stuff to go to, and midget wrestling. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's just like the business collab part of it, because businesses should help each other out, you know.
Most definitely.
Don't hate on the other business just because you think they're taking your customers, you know, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
no.
There's-
The thing about the world is so abundant, you know, and I feel like just back from learning this is like you won't ever get anywhere hating on someone else's success. If you're like focused on someone else so hard instead of staying in your lane, you already lost, you know. But if you move with love, good intent, and you help people out, it's karma. It's full circle. It'll come right back to you. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, if you want to make your bets now, Prize Picks,
Straight up.
just get copyright. They just send me an invoice.
Price Fix, don't sue us.
Yeah. But if I had to pick, I'm gonna say Scott.
I'm gonna say Scott.
I think so. He's got the height, the reach.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has to do it within the first round.
Yeah, I'll put a dub on Sancta. Hey, Sancta, put a dub on you. You better whoop Scott's ass. You know what I mean? Scott, I love you. You know, but
You're going down.
yeah.
Man, well, Scott's gonna hit Sang with that blade and barrel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you don't even know.
but-
Sang is raw though.
He's gonna give it to him raw. Dude.
Yeah, Sang is raw.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Man, well, I had a good time talking to you, bro.
Yeah, most
Thanks for coming to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Yeah, I was super excited to talk to you. I think it's good because on your podcast, you know, you get a lot of you ask the questions. So not a lot of people really know your side of your perspective, your side of your story. And I was glad to be able to give your story and your background and a little bit more about yourself. So
Yeah, dude, I appreciate this opportunity so much. I really do. This is amazing. You know, before we started this, I got nervous, and because I flipped seats, you know, and I was like, damn, what am I even gonna say?
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I'm nervous what I'm gonna have to say on yours.
Yeah, it's all good. And this is cool because we already like broke the ice and everything, so we're already like settled in. So it's good.
Yeah. I'm glad, and I hope you spread more. I hope you branch out more. I want to see you grow. And
Appreciate that, man. Yeah,
send
that's
me
the
some
goal.
of your people my way. So I could talk to
Yeah,
them.
yeah, most definitely, dude. Anybody that I have interviewed, reach out to them. You know, this is super cool. All the people that I've already interviewed. If you want to talk to them, they're all super cool. I'm sure they would love to do this.
Yeah, I would love to talk to a lot of people because I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, super excited, and I'm super excited to hopefully get some more episodes out. Because I've been itching to do some more.
Yeah, dude.
It's just sometimes a struggle.
I understand that. I hope to see you just get the momentum going, and just keep doing this. Cause this is super cool, man.
Yeah. I had some momentum, man. Then I got scared.
Yeah. Hey, dude. Fear.
Yeah.
You have to operate in fear. That just means you care.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, you're doing great. This is awesome.
Thank
You're
you.
inspiring me to want to get my own, like, double down. Double down. Let me get a studio.
Yeah.
Let me get a studio.
It's nice, right?
It
You're like,
is
hey,
nice.
you
Just
can come to
chill.
my spot.
Yeah. And James, say ciao. I'm sorry if you want me to stop doing episodes at your restaurant. I'm gonna get my own studio, but yeah, shout out James. Thank you for letting me shoot at Fusion.
He's still got 5 more episodes over there in him.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, I would love to get James on. I was talking to him. We'll probably get an episode. He might be my next guest, honestly.
Hell yeah.
Me and James known each other for a long time. So, if you're watching this, we gonna get it going, brother.
we gonna get it in. Pause.
All right.
Hell yeah. Thank you, brother, again.
Yeah. Any last words for the people out there? Anything you want to say before? Did we miss anything?
Oh, dude, I think we covered it all. But thank you guys for watching, and yeah, stay tuned for more content.
Yeah. If anybody that's just on my side of the followers, and you go check out his page. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I have many followers anymore, but go check out his page. He's got the message. He's got the positivity.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching another episode of the Munch Gang.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why I call it the Munch Gang, but
I'm gonna ask you in a couple minutes.
yeah. But we'll see you guys soon. Peace out.
Peace.